This is Brian with Sidestep Boxing here with Coach Tony Morgan. All right, Tony, man, I'm gonna ask you the same question I asked Noemi. You guys worked together for the last couple of fights. What were some things that you liked about her when you brought her into your camp?
She's growing. She listens. She's a pain in the ass, but she listens. She grows kind of like when she wants to grow. She's hard-headed as hell, I ain't gonna lie. No, she's a great girl. She actually has been working really hard. It's kind of, you know, she's adjusted from a lot of different coaches, so it's kind of hard when you go into one coach that you're with and he teaches you this way, and everyone has their own way. I think certain coaches work for certain fighters. I think, you know, certain coaches are great for certain fighters. I think certain coaches are bad for certain fighters. But she's come a long way. She's still growing, but I see progress. So as long as there's progress, I think, you know, the sky's the limit.
Before, man, we've been noticing in the ring that, you know, her punches, she's sitting down better on her punches, putting the combinations together better. I don't know if I saw her flat-foot in the last fight. I did see better movement from her. Were those bad habits that you had to break when you got her in the gym?
I don't like to call anybody's work bad habits. I mean, of course there is bad habits, but I think that she's getting. I like to get the most out of what you do. I don't like wasted movement. I don't like wasted punches. I like being effective in everything you do, whether it be movement, punches, whatever. I think that I have had her trying to set down a little more on her punches. I think you've seen that more in the last fight at the a la carte. But at the same time, she's still growing. She's still got a lot of work. She's still, like I said, she's progressing every day. I think that this fight here, I think this is the most leveled out she's been since we started. So I definitely think that you'll see a difference in this fight.
Okay, switching gears a little bit. What are your thoughts on knowing that Willie Monroe Jr. is now struggling to find a fight since his loss to Triple G?
When you are in certain positions and you make certain distinguishments when you fight, he showed, I think a lot of people realize he exposed a little bit of Triple G when he actually went with Triple G, and he actually was hurt to the hip, which we're not making any excuses. I guess Triple G had caught him in the hip and he couldn't move his legs very well. So it turned him into a fighter where he's usually pretty much a complete boxer. We had to move and score his points. He had to turn into more of a fighter. And I think he showed people he could do that, against which a lot of people underestimate. I think Triple G right now is pound for pound one of the best there is. And I don't think anybody at 160 wants to see him. And I gladly invite them to, because I want to see that. I want to see him challenge because I want to see great fights. I want to see the Canelo. I think Canelo's out in 5 rounds. I don't even think it's even a fight, but I would like to see it. I really would.
All right, so a lot of people are saying that no one could beat Triple G at 160. And a lot of people criticize Cotto for not fighting GGG at 160. What do you think about a fight between Ward and Triple G?
Very interesting fight. Big determination factor is the weight. The weight is going to be everything. People say, "Oh, why don't he come up? Or why don't want to work him down?" I mean, it's a catch between. I think Andre Ward is a great boxer and one of the most fundamentally sound guys out. And his energy and his spirit is flawless. I like that guy a lot. I think. And I've known him since he was 10 or 12 years old. We grew up in the amateurs together. I was with Berto, but he'll have his hands full with Triple G. I think if anybody's the guy to beat him, I believe Andre Ward could beat him at the right weight. I wouldn't go nowhere near 60 though to do it. I don't think that's a safe bet.
All right, Andre Berto. We saw that he fought Floyd Mayweather. Do you think you would have had a different game plan for him fighting Floyd than Virgil Hunter did?
Well, I love Berto to death. I've known Berto since he was 9 years old. Was with him 20 years. I think that I don't think Berto did his best. I think Berto showcased some things. You know, he had his jab, stuff was good, but he went out trying to box against a Floyd, and I believe what everybody tells me. Everybody tells us, man, he's so much more difficult in the ring. Floyd is so much more difficult in the ring than you could imagine because, but Berto's, to me, is as fast as Floyd, is as strong as stronger than Floyd. But I just look at things when you're fast and strong like that, you can't just go into his game trying to be. If you look at Floyd's fight, Floyd likes straight ahead fighters that come right to him, and unless the real rough ones. He don't like the rough ones. Victor Ortiz gave him some problems. Victor roughed him up a little bit, gave him some problems. Victor messed up, didn't keep his hands up, and got chin checked. And I like Victor too. And I hate to see him and Berto go at it again, but I love to see him and Berto go at it again. But I think that Berto showcased some things. I think he could have done a lot of things different. I think he's unbelievably talented. I think he's still got growing to do, and I think he's come to the peak of his career, and he's made plenty of money. He's doing well. This fight here with Vic Ortiz will be a showcase fight.
All right, Tony, can you talk to us about some of the struggles that a trainer faces?
I think the struggles of a trainer, it depends on where the trainer's at. I think, an up-and-coming trainer, it's harder because he's so passionately involved. I give you like an instance, me and Berto. I mean, Berto's the first kid I ever worked with. Berto was 9 or 10 years old when we started working together. And, to go to where he's 30 years old. And when you just come into where you start making money and start getting into the green, where you start, you forget that it's a business. And for all the young coaches out there, you got to be careful. Don't get too involved with these kids. You got to make sure that you're covered, because your time is worth something. No love lost with Bert. Of course, I wanted to kill him the first, couple of months, maybe even a year afterwards. But we're cool now. We talk, and I just think that being a trainer can be the greatest thing. It's just like being a fighter can be the greatest thing that we're saying. You have to deal with the criticism. You have to deal with with people trying to come in and try and get what's yours. You have to deal with the fact that you have to you question yourself, especially as a coming up trainer. You'll question yourself once you've done, you've made world champions from scratch, which very few of those guys have done as top trainers. Very few of those have done that. They get these already polished up fighters and they put their name on it, like they did this and that. Very few trainers out there I respect, because very few trainers do all the work. I can go out and train. I can train a kid to fight all day long, as long as he's behaving in school, got a ride to the gym, got money to come to the gym, got money to go on trips. They don't realize all that. They got these guys that are already making big money, and they're all intertwined in the fact of, oh, I'm doing something great. Listen, man, that's the easy part. Come the hard part. Come out and see Dave here needs a ride to the gym. No, car broke down. Jose's car broke down. It's the little things that make the hardest part of training is living outside these walls of this gym, outside the ropes of the ring. They don't have to worry about that no more. These fighters are making money. They got, they're paid. They can do this and that. And listen, I take my hat off to them. I don't bash nobody that's making money. The Freddie Roaches, Buddy McGirt, old school Buddy McGirt, Dan Birmingham, stuff like that. But the people that people forget is most of the time those guys were made off of somebody else. I just said Dan Birmingham, which Dan Birmingham's a great coach. I've been with Dan, Winky, went many camps with them. Great coach, very intelligent guy, been around the block a lot, trainer of the year once or twice. Ben Getty. Who's Ben Getty? Ben Getty's the one that built Keith Thurman. Ben Getty worked with a lot of kids, and he worked with Keith when Keith was a little kid. And that's why I respect Keith Thurman so much, because he never forgets Ben Getty. He never forgets to put the name out there, never forgets. Ben's dead and gone. Ben's wife's still around. I think Ben's son Chris is still involved. My hat off to people like that. Keith Thurman's a standout guy. And me and Keith, I never really was close to Keith, but I respect the fact that Keith does what he does, because the guys that put in all the work, those a lot of times are the guys that get, I wouldn't say forgotten, but just get swept under the rug. So all you trainers out there that are working, man, stay true to what you do, love what you do, work your ass off. It will come back. It might bite you in the ass, but get to where you never ever look back at what you do, never be sorry for what you do, and always keep pushing forward.
All right, thanks, Tony.
Sidestep boxing.
Prime with Sidestep Boxing. We are out of here.